Good evening. We are live. We're getting set up just a few minutes early before we get started, and wanted to be available for any technical support that you might need. I'm really excited. This is part 2 of business acceleration secrets and also media magic. So as we get started here in a few moments, we still got a couple minutes before we get started. If you want to go ahead and click on the link that's in the chat room, that will join you live with video and audio. And it's a great chance to mastermind, connect. Hopefully some of our mentors for our upcoming event will, again, click on that link in the chat room, which gets you live, and it activates your video and mic. Now you can click on the video button and go like this to where all you see is an image if you're in your PJs and don't want everybody to see you. But it would be wonderful if we have some individuals that join us. Go ahead and do some mastermind, or you can feel free to chat in the room. So if you've just joined us, go ahead and either type in the chat room who you are, what you're doing. This is a great opportunity to get some free publicity. I think anytime you have the opportunity to showcase who you are and what you're doing is a time to grow your business. I do see one of our mentors on, Gail de Hassler. Anybody that's on, you can feel free to click on the link in the chat room. That will take it live right now, so you can join and introduce yourself to everybody that's here. So again, getting started, and we're going to give it one more minute with that. So this is part 2. We had part 1 last week, which was really wonderful. I shared, and I'll go ahead and do a recap tonight, but I shared information on what I have found over the last number of years to be the secret to accelerate your business super fast. If you have something that you want in mind, how to get there and what to do. So again, I'll go ahead and recap that just a moment. Looks like we're getting lots of people joining us. Yay! So if you're just joining us, please, somebody be brave enough to click on the link and go ahead and join us live. You can join video, you can join audio. It's a great opportunity for you to give yourself free publicity, because those that join will have the opportunity to share who you are. And this is replayed. We will also be sharing it after the fact with other things that are happening. So hi, Gail. Yay. So go ahead and again, share who you are, where you're from. If you have a business, website, anything that you'd want us to know, you can do that. Gail, there is actually a link in the chat room. If you click on the link, and that should automatically take you to the live link. I know that there's also in the room a place where you can make a request. There's kind of like a finger pointing up, and that request allows me to also give you access. So with that, just to let you know a little bit about why I'm so passionate about this, and what, why I'm here so late at night and here for you. And one of the things that I found over a number of years in business is that it was, when I started my very first business, I did not know what to do, how to do it. I didn't have a big bank account to be able to work with marketing, and really was uncertain which way to take. And I also knew that in many businesses, time is of the essence. Time is of the essence because maybe we have financial obligations that we need to support. Maybe we want to be first to market. Maybe there's a number of reasons where time is of the essence. And so I found through these 4 steps that I went from, kind of waddling and going slow on what I was doing to actually really accelerating at lightning speed things in my dream beyond what I had imagined. And so the first thing that we talked about at the last Google Hangout was the power of collaboration. Collaboration and working together is one of the quickest ways to really expedite what it is that you want to do. And I found that many times, or at least I'm going to speak for myself personally, when I first, I've always loved playing with other people, but I still had in the back of my head, and I'm not perfect, it still comes up occasionally, the lack consciousness, or not enough, or maybe I'm in the room with somebody who's in the same industry as me, and that comparison mode. And one of the things that I found is that when we find a way to collaborate and work together, miracles happen. And that a lot of times we're not shown how to do that. We are actually, I don't know about you, but many times feel alone, that we have to do this on our own. And so collaboration is a great way to overcome being alone. It also helps with finances. Sometimes you can jointly do things. And many times we found that collaborations, even if you don't think it's a good match, there's a way to do it. So let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I had a company called Conscious Living Partnership, and we brought together people in the holistic health modality and personal development. And one night, I remember at a networking function, we had, I don't know, 5 or 6 acupuncture physicians in our area. And each one, as they were sharing, well, I do this and I do that. And you could kind of feel that they were a little bit intimidated, or trying to share as much about them as possible to stand out. But yet they didn't know how to really play together. And from us working together and working with them, it was so beautiful. We were able to get them all together and really look at, okay, well, what is it that you like to do? What is it that you don't like to do? We found that some of the hypnotherapists maybe specialize in weight loss. Another might be just kick butt at no smoking. Another one might be good at business breakthroughs. And so from coming together and at least having that initial conversation, they discovered that there were so many things that they could collaborate on. And as we progressed, it took a couple of months for them to kind of get in the flow of things. But as we progressed, when they came to meetings, you could see them even starting to share, oh my gosh, if you want to do, this type of therapy, you should go see this other person. And they started kind of a referral network. They even started advertising together, and they even created somewhat of their own little association where they were marketing and such together. So collaboration is such a powerful thing to look at. We truly are never alone. It just takes that initial asking and conversation, which leads me to number 2. Number 2, I think, which is essential for creating, accelerating your business, is having a quick, clear, concise elevator pitch. I think that many times we struggle with what to say. And this is one of the things those of you that know me, I'm in Media Magic. I wrote a book on Media Magic, and we talk a lot about language and how language is the one thing that really holds us back from getting exactly what we want. Being able to quickly and clearly convey what it is that we need. And so on my website, shannonburnett.com, you'll find a number of blogs on elevator pitches, things to have in elevator pitches, things to avoid in elevator pitches. But I think that is essential, because when you can communicate clearly what it is that you do and what it is that you're looking for, then people can become magnetic and know how to serve you and also become a client if that's it. So elevator pitch is really key. Those of you that are just joining us, I just wanted to let you know that there's a chat room where you can see a live link, and I encourage you to go ahead and click on that live link so that you can join us. Yay! Let's say hi to a few people. We have hi Tony. I think that's one of my favorite printing buddies, who does actually brings print media, direct mail. This guy is a master at direct mail, and really helps it convert to social media and online. He's just really connected all of the dots, and super excited. Hopefully that's you, Tony, that I'm talking about. We also have Julia Mueller. I hope I'm saying that correct. She's from Sedona, and she is a hypnotherapist. So she specializes in weight loss. She does coaching, and she has a successful online program called Hypnosis and Easy Weight Loss. Yes, and she's in the midst of pre-launch. Welcome, Julia. We're so glad that you're here. I've been so blessed to work with a lot of hypnotherapists, and I can't say enough about how not only can it help you break through in maybe personal challenges, but also in business too. So I love it. And then we have Gail DeHassler. Now, Gail DeHassler is one of our mentors. She is one of our, she's also on the executive team, and really somebody that's instrumental in bringing some of this work to the masses and bringing some of this coaching and mentoring. And she says, I can consult, steer, educate, and speak. I slingshot success by making you make more money with the money you already have. How would you feel if you could put more money in your pocket from the personal and business activities you're already immersed in? Gail is amazing. I love spending time with her because, you know, one of the things that I found is that a lot of people are intimidated. I myself was very intimidated by financials and P&Ls and accounting. And, you know, times in my life, I'm like, I don't have enough money to account for, whatever those excuses are. Gail, you know, I know that when we hang around other people that are successful and learn from them and talk about things like investment, talk about things like money, Gail's actually sat down with me in a number of different aspects in my business, and I was blown away on how I was able to multiply some of the dollars using her system. So yay, Gail, thank you for joining us. And hopefully you can find the link and join us so people can see who you are. But she, again, is one of our mentors at the Business Acceleration Summit, and really strong, and she owns the Wisdom Society, wisdomsociety.com, and really instrumental in getting powerful messages out there. So I think I've got everybody, and that was Tony. Yay, I was promoting the right person. Okay, we have one request here. Let's see, view. Teresa, yay! So we get to hear you speak. So again, I am, you know, big on publicity, media magic. That's my focus. Anytime you have the opportunity to speak, share, or showcase your business, the answer is yes, I'm going to do it. Because whether you're scared or not, just letting people know who you are and what you do is getting that message out there. So now's a great opportunity to, and Teresa, I did hit the request button to go ahead and publicize yourself and let us know who you are. So number 3, we went through number 1, which is collaboration, number 2, which is elevator pitches, number 3, which is mentors. One of my greatest mentors told me, find somebody who has what you want, do what they do, and you'll get what they've got. Find somebody who has what you want, do what they do, and you'll get what they've got. So, you know, I was so blessed at a young age to meet him, and started looking at aspects of even parenting, like who is giving parenting advice, who is giving financial advice, who is giving business advice. It's so important to surround ourselves with mentors and surround ourselves with people that we want to strive to be like, or strengthen those muscles. Because one of the things that I found from working with mentors is not only do they help you avoid costly mistakes. How many of you guys in your business have made very costly mistakes? Well, they can help you avoid costly mistakes. They can also help you, get really clear and share some of their tools that they've done that you may not even know about, that are out there to help you accelerate your business. And many times mentors will actually open up their Rolodex and help you grow your business financially. So I kind of have this thing that I do: take a mentor to lunch every month, or take a millionaire to lunch every month. I find that I have so many stories. I could write a book just on taking millionaire to lunch, and in the first video I shared a few stories. But I think that, stretch yourself to be around people that are, and it's not necessarily above you, but just are gifted in other areas and successful. I mean, everybody that's here on this Google Hangout tonight is here about business acceleration. You want to know, what are the tips and tools? What is it that I need to do to go to the next level? And so mentors can many times hold your hand. I know when I started the Business Acceleration Summit, those of you that don't know my story, I've produced over 400 events, including renting the top floor of the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. And, I've had webinars, all kinds of things. I love helping people as a consultant come in and get the most out of their events, whether they're sponsoring, exhibiting, producing. And what happened is after my last major event, I ended up getting really sick. And I stopped doing, producing the events. And so I looked at my life and I was like, oh my gosh, I just spent 6 months up until 3 a.m., up at 6 in the morning. And it was really, I was working hard and not necessarily smart. But what so I was a little bit nervous about getting back into the event business again and going, okay, how do I do this and still create, still honor my health and still honor my family and still take care of me? Does anybody else have that, wanting to create balance in their world? And so one of the first things I did was I called people that I know that are better than me. And, I called Gail, I called Amanda Rose, I called Bernie Dorman, I called Ernest Chu, some of these mentors, and I said, look, I have this idea, I want to do this event, will you please mentor me and also participate? And just by asking, you would be amazed how many people are honored to mentor and help you. Now, granted, I also think that in exchange of a consultant, so, it doesn't necessarily mean that mentors have to be free. Sometimes my best advice has been what I've paid for. And I know personally when people have hired me to come in for events, I had one person where they actually were able to save over $10,000 instantly within the first 30 minutes of us working together and strategizing on what to do. And they also went out and were able to increase their revenue from 5 figures from prior events. So there's a lot that you can do with working with individuals that are better than you. Again, it comes back to collaboration and never being alone. Really, really reaching and stretching out there to work with others. And the fourth one, which I gave as a bonus, is mastermind. We've all heard of Napoleon Hill and the power of mastermind and some of the world's greatest inventions, the world's greatest things that have come together have started with a mastermind and a group of people getting together and sharing and brainstorming on what it is that they're doing and what it is that they need next. It's that power of the collective mind that works together, but again, with structure. I've been a part of mastermind groups where it's great, but there's not really a structure. And any mastermind group you can get into can be very supportive and very wonderful. But I find that when you get in those groups with the intention and with some structure, that you can actually really accelerate your business. So, oh, Julia says, yes, I can relate. So again, let's recap those collaborations. So you can pick one of these, or the more that you have those 4 items working together, the more powerful it is. Collaboration, elevator pitch, mentors, and mastermind. So why am I sharing these 4 things with you tonight? And I had a number of people email me, so tonight I'm going to cover a couple of things on how you can put this into action immediately. But we've created an event where you can get all of this all in one shot. This next Thursday, from Thursday 5:30 until Friday at Thursday evening at 5:30 until 5:30 the following evening, where we have literally brought together structured networking, masterminding with high-level mentors that are there to brain tide, and then also collaborating, working on your elevator pitch, and really accessing these mentors. And one of the things, some of the questions I'm going to answer real quick is people say, how do you prepare for something like this? What do you do when you come to a conference where they are focused on accelerating your business? Our goal is when you come in, we look at, okay, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you need next? What is the greatest challenge that you have? Or what is a goal that you have? Something that you need to work with right now to take your business to the next level. So that comes out in the form of, a little bit of your elevator pitch. So you have to be clear on what it is you need next. And many times people don't know what it is they need next. You wouldn't believe how many times I talk to people and they're like, I need more customers. I need more customers. We all need more customers. But it's like, what is that strategic process in order to get those customers? What is it that you need to do? Do you need to, be going to more networking events? What's your marketing plan? Are you collaborating? Do you have an advisory team? Do you have an advisory board? There's a sequence that people can go on that really accelerates their success. So when people come to the Business Acceleration Summit, one of the things that we do is the very first thing is we get up in a structured networking activity that we've been so blessed to be licensed from CEO Space to use, called SNAP, which is Super Networking Accelerates Potential. Great, yes, please keep writing things that you need support with. I'm hoping to do a little bit of brainstorming here too. And in this process, now this isn't fully what they do at CEO Space, but a part of it, people stand up and they have to have a clear elevator pitch. Now, we set the stage for collaboration and cooperation. We really have a great, lot that we do to create that, but it's that elevator pitch that allows them to communicate their needs and desires. And in that first part, obviously the shorter the better. One of the things that I find people do is, I always ask you, if you were getting in the elevator with Oprah, what would you say? Or if you're getting in the elevator with Donald Trump, I mean, whoever it is that you're fans of or that would be a key player, what would you say to them to be compelling? And compelling meaning they would say, can you tell me more? I want to know more. When I work with people in the media and writing press releases, so many times people, write big, long articles, stories, all kinds of things. And my formula is 1 page, double-spaced, large text. And when you use this formula that anybody can do with quick, clear, and success, or quick, clear, and concise, then they almost always pick it up. I mean, it's really, really powerful when you prepare. And yeah, Gail says, better be prepared than unprepared. So I always let people know when you're coming to the summit and anywhere, like I have a few elevator pitches. Let me give you an example of one of my elevator pitches. My name is Shannon Gronich, and I have successfully attained over $3.1 million in free publicity, and I have a simple system that teaches anybody how to do the same. I'm looking for authors, speakers, business owners, anybody that's really ready to take their business to the next level and get recognized with publicity. Who do you know? They can learn more at my website, shannonburnett.com. So do you see how clear that was and how concise it was? The other thing that I found in elevator pitches that's great is if you can bring in numbers, if you can bring in stats. I mean, I said $3.1 million. Didn't that get your attention? It's the same thing with any sort of media marketing. It's like using numbers to capture attention, or maybe even a quote from a famous person, or identifying the problem. Sometimes talking to people about the problem. So elevator pitches, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but the biggest thing, as Gail said, is be prepared. Write it on a note card, get some feedback, work with some of the some of your friends. But what's great about this event is that you can actually go there and get mentored and come up with the most incredible elevator pitch that you could use. And having multiple elevator pitches, because let's say, Gail, for example, who deals with finances, well, she might be with a group of women and she might talk about financial literacy and the stats around women with financial literacy. Julia might talk about weight loss and some of the challenges with diabetes and things like that are happening. Tony may talk about the power of direct mail when you connect it with online. So really having that key language to do that and having that ready for the event is essential. Now we have people show up and it always works. When being prepared is great, but I also know that being enthusiastic and being, really connecting at that heart level, you can sometimes say the right things to the wrong person and it doesn't matter. You could say the wrong things to the right person and it can make all the difference. So really don't let that stop you from coming if you feel drawn to come and play with us, because we'll help you with that. But have that prepared. Then after the structured networking, then we break for the mastermind dinner. And when you come to the event, each expert, and let me share with you some of the experts that are going to be here. This is the part that is so exciting for me, is that we have the captain of the Disney ship as our keynote. We have his amazing wife who owns Human Potential Central. They're going to be running a mastermind table. Myself, who works on publicity and events. We have Gail, who works with finances and numbers and really how to increase what you're doing and increase the flow. She is awesome, all kinds. She's also done investing, run nonprofits, a lot of businesses. Most of the mentors that have come, pretty much all of them, have expertise in all areas of business, whether it be raising capital, looking at your exit strategy, international expansion, but just to name a few. We also have Ernest Chu with the Soul Currency Institute. He's been on Oprah, Wall Street Journal. This man is just amazing at coming in brain tithing. I mean, all of these people are there. You'll find at the mastermind meal table, nobody is pitching. If they're pitching, you come let me know. We'll have a talk. There is no pitching allowed. Everybody is there just to serve, and we have a structure for this where the mentors lead it, but really, and you know, the mentors are going to absolutely help you, support you, and grow. But sometimes some of the great ideas are the people that are there, because believe me, when we have this type of event with this large number of amazing people, we also attract amazing people. So even participants, I feel blessed that they're here coming to play. And what I also love is that the mentors are mentoring each other. I mean, it's great because everybody is here to support, here to show, and we are here to, you know, play and grow, and also really looking at the whole concept of how do we accelerate our business, how do we help our local economy, how do we help the local businesses grow, how do we become recession proof, what is it that we need to do as a community to where we can come together and grow. And we also have Ken Roshan with the Umbrella Syndicate, Tracy Strotter with Everything Brevard, who does branding and marketing. I know we have Gio Ropert there, who's also a high-level marketing expert, branding expert, another individual. We've got a lot of marketing and branding, but we also, oh, Bernie Dorman. They just called on Friday, and he said that he's going to be there for Friday. So, and he's been, you know, both him and Ernie have been instrumental in taking a number of companies public, again, raising capital. So this is the type of people that are there helping you. And some people, you might relate to this. I know and I've had some people come to the event and they felt really, how do I say this? And I did this too when I first got around some of the, you know, the mentors. I'm like, oh my gosh, who am I? They're so successful and I don't fit in. And I'm telling you that everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. And they've actually done scientific studies that show that epigenetically, like, we start adapting to who we are or who we are with. Have you ever, you know, had I have a girlfriend where her best friend sounds just like her on her phone. You know, husbands start doing what wives do. We start doing things like people that we, you know, like who we hang around with. So this is a great opportunity to really stretch and get access to other mentors. And what's awesome about the mentor table is that you have about 10 to, you know, 13, 15 minutes just on you. So everybody is focusing just on you. And what I tell people at the event is when we do the structured networking, and we have everybody get up, and, you know, we share more with that when you get there. But, you know, don't network with your table. Go away, because you'll talk to them at dinner. Go away and meet other people that are there, because at the table you'll really have that dinner time to get to know them. And you'll find that the more you give and the more that you support people that are there, you know, and not how do I say this, being just giving. The more that you give and really share, that you'll receive that. It's just this beautiful flow. So, and then after the mastermind meal tables, then we have the keynote presenter, which is Captain Henry Anderson, and he's going to be talking about emotional intelligence and leadership. I mean, imagine being out on sea and responsible for all of the lives and running all of these different departments, all the way from, you know, the kitchen to the crew to the housekeeping to, you know, managing all of this. Talk about a high performance team, a high performance team. He is just amazing at that. So he's going to be our quick, and they're like TED Talks, 25-minute quick snippets, but always very inspirational. If you're interested in seeing some of our prior speakers, you can just email me at info@businessaccelerationsummit.com, info@businessaccelerationsummit.com, and just say, please send me link to prior keynote, and I'm happy to share a couple of those with you. And then after that, we have the closing. We do raise a little bit of money for a local nonprofit. So we do a small pledge. You know, those of you that want to help with preventing cancer, they can do that. But the primary focus is helping the businesses grow. And what's so great about Thursday night is everybody that attends the main event on Thursday, you have the opportunity to go up to every mentor and get on their schedule the next day. Schedule a one-on-one. They have workshops the next day, but you also have the opportunity to meet with them and dive deep individually on what it is you're doing. And again, they're brain tithing. I know the last event, I had the opportunity to connect with Ernie Chu about a project that I was working on, and the ideas that he had. You know, I talked to a few people about it, but it was such a catalyst to really accelerate my business and kind of streamline things, and also opening up this Rolodex to help me. So this is what you'll find there. We have to kind of get people, we have to show people out, because everybody's still networking, and it's a lot of fun. And then the next day we start bright and early. Now this is in addition, this is for the VIP and sponsors, but we've always had a few tickets left, and that's the VIP breakfast. And that is where you get to have breakfast. Again, we're actually developing it into like a game. And where we come in and you share a problem or a goal, and we mastermind on it, but it's a little more of a game style. Now, Ernest Chu is going to be there this time. He is, you know, he'll take questions, but they go around, and every single person, and it's a smaller group, gets to know who you are, what you're doing, and his goal is, when you share that challenge or that goal, is to help you. So just imagine with me for a moment that you could take any obstacle that you have right now, and you could take it to somebody at the top of their field and have them brainstorm with you. What would that do for your business? Imagine having a team of people where they were excited to sit down with you and strategize and work to help you take to the next level. That's what happens at these events. People actually come. I know Tony's been to a bunch, Gail's been to a bunch, but individuals actually come and they get that boost of, you know, this is what I need next. They work on it, and then they come back to the next one. So it's really a remarkable time. And then the next day, again on Friday, we have workshops. We have workshops on free publicity. We have workshops on thriving in the economy. We have things on social media. We have things on, you know, raising capital. And with that, we also have half-hour breaks, because I found that with the breaks, that's the time to meet with the mentors and also to network. Now, I would pick meeting with the mentors. I mean, I love networking, but it's not every day that individuals that could get paid, let's say $10,000 a day, $25,000 a day, are there to brain tithe and help you. So those of you on Thursday night, be certain that you go and pick at least 2 or 3 that you meet with that next day. And the very last event, oh, and we also have Dr. Melissa Anderson doing some dropping stuff in her workshop. I've had her speak at a number of my conferences. I'm so delighted that she's free from her traveling and speaking to be here. And she always helps people break through some of those maybe unknown blocks. Have any of you had the mentors, had the collaboration, had the mastermind, but you're just not seeing the cash? That's what Dr. Anderson's the expert at getting at some of that, maybe that unconscious stuff that's going on, some of that old programming that can help you. So, all right. Okay, so we got some questions in chat room. Sorry, just checking in for a minute. So with that, and then the very end, we do a pitch. And no, Julia, I'm actually going to go in through, and I'm hoping you guys can share some challenges, some goals. I'm going to talk about publicity, but I had people say, please share with us how to best get ready. So when you're meeting with mentors, whether it's at this event or any event, it's good to have a clear goal or challenge. I think, you know, when you look at your business this, you know, during the week, like, I don't know if you guys sit down on Sunday night or Monday morning, I like to sit down and go, okay, what's my goal this week? What do I need to accomplish? And what do I need to get that done? And I love coming to mentors with challenges, because that seems to be where I might get stuck, you know, where I may be stopped in what I need to do next. So having that clear goal or challenge on what you need next is a great way to move forward and what you want to have ready. So Julia, you can, under the webinar gem, there's a thing that says offer. There's information there, or if you go to businessaccelerationsummit.com, there's the Eventbrite page with all of the information. And the summit should not be sold out. There is yeah, there's a number of things. I'm gonna give everybody a code tonight so that you can get a discount to join. So with that, any questions so far? Go ahead and put in the chat room if you have questions, if you have comments. Gail, I wish you were on here, because she's always an amazing rock star. Experience is a great teacher. Yeah, yes, it is. I have to say, one of the things when masterminding with mentors, that depending on where people's experience are in business, a lot of people right now are tired of working a job. They want more freedom, and so they're looking to be an entrepreneur. They're looking to be an author or speaker or coach or whatever it may be, and they don't have that experience. And so when you're coming from a job, getting an entrepreneur education and getting those tools and getting that team together is key, and leveraging their experience. I know that I took my company from being a hobby to 19 states in like 18 months. And I did that from really surrounding myself with people that were better than me. Everybody was better than me. Everybody had things to contribute. And I, you know, would listen and take it in, and then decide, does this work for me? And do I want to take it to heart and put it into action? So finding a mentor teacher saves time and energy and money, because I can't tell you how many people I've met with that are doing events in particular, and I can go in and save them money, streamline the money, and really look at, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what's really involved in doing things, and so to have somebody there to work with you. I have a story of a woman who was doing wines, and she started really getting, she was developing her company. She came up with a great tasting wine, and was raising capital. And in her business plan, she had, you know, all the financials, great projections, again, raising capital. So she needed to have a very sophisticated financials. But one of the things that she forgot in her plan was corks for the wine bottles. And that was not in her operational plan either. So thank God she got in touch with a mentor who had started and ran and sold a non-alcoholic wine company. So when he went through her business plan, again, he was brain tithing. He discovered that she missed something that's small but very significant, because you cannot sell wine without corks. So it's always so powerful to collaborate and find those mentors that can have, you know, show you what to do. And this is what we've created. Gail also says, read, listen to books. Yeah, there's so many ways to plug into information, but I'm a really big advocate of collaborating. I'm really big, like right now, I feel like moving forward in this time of transformation, times where businesses, structures, how they've been running in the past are not, you know, starting to crumble. People are really big on transparency. People are cutting through the hype. I mean, people are tired of the hype. These millennials do not want to hear the hype. They do not like the hype. So if you're doing the hype, it's an absolute turn off. So finding that through collaboration, that this is what we need to move forward. This is what we need to go to the next level. And if you don't know how to do it, the very first step is just showing up and saying, I want to talk to you about, I use the word, I'd like to explore a possible collaboration, or I'd like to explore doing this with you, and knowing that all it is exploration. One of my great spiritual teachers shared something with me that had a big impact. He said, Shannon, you get excited about things and you get excited about people and you jump in before it's 100% yes. And so one of the things that I've realized, he said, even if you're at a 99% yes, you're excited, like, he goes, it's still a no. So whenever I'm looking at collaborations, I'll tell people, you know, as we're going along, say, I'm still not 100% yet, yes, but I'm really excited to move forward. So I invite you to check in, because I don't know if you're like me. I meet wonderful people, I see wonderful projects, and I have to sometimes slow down and go, okay, let me get more information, because as he said, many times it's the journey that we're on where more unfolds, where the power is, and really taking us to that next place. So we have to enjoy the journey of getting to the yes, not just jumping in full board. So that's some of the things when you start looking at collaboration. Use that word explore. I'd just like to explore this with you. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to see what's going on. I mentioned in the first Hangout, one of the individuals that I work with when I'm looking at collaborations, you know, that involve finances and partnerships and stuff, Stuart Levine. Stuart Levine with resolutionworks.org has a 9-step process. I'm actually trained in the program. Anybody that I work with, you know, I help them and teach this process too. But this is a process of creating agreements for results, creating sustainable partnerships. And at first, when I first met him, I had been schooled I had just came out of a partnership that ended not so well. And I had another mentor that I was working with who was in the exact same event business, you know, industry as I was. He built a company up. He sold it for over $1 million, event conferences. He did it for over 20 years. So I respected him, and he said, no partnerships. You cannot work with anybody, or I will not work with you. And so I spent a couple of years really in that space, also staying away from marriage, which now I'm married. so you know, I was a little bit, even though I was talking about collaboration, I was creating collaboration, but really, you know, there was that reservation. And so Stuart Levine, from working with him, what I found was in those collaborations, it was the dialogue in the beginning and the planning in the beginning and getting that strategic plan and that operational plan in place before we execute. Because that is where we know, is this somebody that we want to play with? Is this somebody that we want to work with? Stuart Levine's process also talks about conflict. How do you resolve conflict? Because, you know, one person may resolve it one way, one person may resolve it another. So really in collaboration, getting that clear agreement. And it's really a dialogue. It's not a contract. That's one of the things that I love about the process is it's not a contract. It's an agreement. Now, it can be used as a contract, but it's definitely creating that collaboration for results. So with that, I'd love to open it up. Who's got some questions? Who's got some challenges? Who has a goal, something that you need help with? We've got some amazing, brilliant people here on the line. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't shared who you are or what you're doing and you want some free press, go ahead and post it in the chat room. We'd love to hear what you're up to and what you're doing so that we can best support you. And if not, I'll just keep sharing different things. Okay, so you guys are pretty quiet over here. I'm checking the other chat room. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how to identify what you need next. I find a lot of people that come to the summit, or a lot of people that I'm mentoring, they think they need a specific thing, but they may be out of sequence to knowing what it is they need next. And so that is really looking at, you know, are you a startup? Are you beyond startup and actually, you know, just launched? Are you in expansion mode? Or are you looking at an exit strategy? Now, I think every business from the beginning needs to be talking about the end in mind. Gail teaches this too a lot with her stuff. It's like you want to know, you know, have a goal of what is it that I'm doing, because I think it's 80% of businesses close down, and a lot of them can be sold. A lot of them can be passed on. A lot of them, I mean, there's so much potential with businesses, but people do not build the business based upon an exit strategy. People build the business so that they're the one running the business, and if anything happens to them, it dissolves. So having that exit strategy in mind, or looking at the systems, or that will help you get clear. So when you're talking to a mentor, I personally look at mentors in all areas of my life. I look at mentors for parenting. I look at mentors for financial. I look at mentors for marketing. I also have people that I talk to about legal stuff, because I know that when you're in business, you're dealing with a lot of legal stuff. If you own anything, you're dealing with legal stuff. I also look to, I have a speaking coach, Amanda Rose, that I worked with for a number of years. And I'm saying a lot, so she would be like, Shannon, where's that quarter in the jar? Anyways, finding out what it is, really, I have a sheet that's identified. I think there's like 75 things that we look at with a team, but with a business, it's key to have financial, marketing, legal, maybe somebody in distribution, maybe somebody in technology realm. So identifying where those are, and where are the holes, where are they blank, and being vulnerable to share, you know what, I'm just not very good at this. This is what I need help. And so that's one of the first things I look at with finding a mentor. Tony says, I'm focusing on exposure type of direct mail product. My goal is to have 10 zones by the end of the year. When is the right time to bring on some help? So Tony, can you share with me a little bit more about what type of help? So remember, I was just saying, identifying what type of, what is it that you need? Do you know what type of help? Is it sales help? Is it, what type of help are you looking for? Are you clear on that? Do you know what it is that you need? And for me, I'm really big on stretching. I talk about learning from mistakes. One time, I grew bigger than my britches. And I expanded beyond what I was ready for, which I think is great. I think, if you're ready to go, you go. But I also expanded beyond what I should have been. I should have really been focusing locally in Florida, and I went nationwide. And so I was spending all this money to travel to different areas and meet different people. And so as great as it was to say I'm in 19 states, it was also eating up my my profit, my income that was coming in. So I think that, really working it until you're busting out of the seams, really focusing on, to where you're at that point of, okay, I need to, unless you can afford to have somebody, great, bring them on. But I find that if you work it until, people talk about getting commercial space, I'm like, work as long as you can until you have to go to that next level. So bring somebody on the inside. Now, is that inside for sales, inside for office management, business management, marketing? Again, I hope these questions are helping you get clear, because Tony, and thank you so much for doing this, because this is one of the big challenges that people have, is getting clear on what do I need next? How do I know what I need next? So 10 zones. One of the things, Tony, I would sit down and look at, it's the same thing with radio. If people are going on radio, TV, or print, I always say, okay, how many listeners are there? Where is the biggest hit and bang for your buck? And where is, what would be the ideal place to go to meet this? So if you're looking at 10 zones, I would literally map it out on what's going to be, closest and easiest for you to work with, and also what is going to be the best rollout income-wise. And the other thing is, like, get one area really going and get it to where it's running on its own. And again, if you have money and you have a team, go hire people to help you go all out. But I know most people is really, we're all kind of baby stepping it, taking it piece by piece. So Tony says project management and books. So I'm really big on, I think that if you're in that place where you're expanding, hire somebody for 10 hours a week at $10 an hour or whatever it is, and have them do those things that you're having a challenge with. Tony, if you're looking at books and project management, you know, maybe see if you can have somebody come in for 10 hours a week, because that $100 will do two things. It becomes a bridge for you to sharpen your skill on delegation, sharpen your skill on working with a team. It'll get them used to what you're doing. It will get them doing things that really you should not be doing. And you know, whatever it is that your time, everybody's time is spent doing, probably better doing other things. So that the formula that I've used is that, you know, 10 hours a week, $10 an hour, and use that as that bridge to get to that next level. Gail says she'd write down your target audience. Yes, get very clear on your target audience and really get clear on what you want to attract. Yes, knowing your ideal customer, knowing who it is that you want to play with, because then when they come up, you can decide, is this a good area or is this not a good area? I know that you know, Tony, you're in Florida and you're in a smaller area, so maybe you want to target the next biggest area as your first area to roll out with. You know, just seeing, I also look at what is the income possibility. Project management can be handled with an online app to keep track of your projects. Yes, there's some amazing projects. Now, I know for me, I don't know if it's because of who I am, but I love having partners. I love having somebody to collaborate with. I do not do well working alone. So as much as I love apps and those tools and I use them, I personally work much better and get a lot more done if I have somebody at least 10 hours a week to help me with some of those things that I might be struggling with. Tony, is this helpful at all? Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Any questions? Okay. So I had another email come in about marketing and the power of marketing and how to, yay, Tony. And I'm so excited that you're coming and that it's going to be you also. One of the things I said is we have amazing people to come. Tony is also an expert in what he does, and so it's so great. I've had people come back to me and say, oh my gosh, I sat at a table with Tony and he shared this and this and this. So it's great to have you there. Any other questions? Please feel free to chime in and you know, what is a goal that you have? What is a challenge that you're dealing with? How can we support you? I'm here. I'm willing to open up my Rolodex. I'm willing to share whatever I can. And Gail's one of our tithing mentors tonight too. So one of the questions that people asked was a little bit about one of the things I talk about is creating that tagline that sizzles, creating that in a press release. Some people call it subject lines, the intro line. A lot of times when people work with press releases, they put their logo at the top. They put all their information at the top. Their logo is not anything that's brand, you know, it's not Coca-Cola or Remax or something that's very well known. And what happens is that when you're looking at getting free press, they see that as wanting to get free advertisement. And there's a big, 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 big difference. They, you know, when you're looking at getting free press, they want to have something that's good for their readers. They want to have something that's good for their listeners, whatever it may be. So with creating a tagline that sizzles, and this can be used as your opening line in your elevator pitch. This can be put on your business card. I mean, I think that the tagline is an elevator pitch. Both those together are really essential. So I'm going to share with you a couple of taglines that have gotten me millions of dollars in publicity. One of the most successful taglines I had was 85 ways to improve your health in 6 hours or less. 85 ways to improve your health in 6 hours or less. So you heard me talk a little bit about numbers. Even when you're working with mentors or individuals, like that third-party credibility and numbers and stats can be really powerful. There's just something with numbers. I don't know exactly right now what it is, but that gets people's attention. And so the 85 ways was I had 85 exhibitors, and it was a 6-hour show, and it was, again, a lot of health and wellness and personal development. So 85 ways to improve your health in 6 hours or less. That was the tagline at the very top of the press release. Nothing else. That was it. And so in my formula, it really shows you how to do that. So coming up with that tagline and keeping it short and sweet. I've done things like 9 mistakes even the smartest exhibitors make, how to make money while you're sleeping. The word money is a key. People love that word if you can put that in your tagline. Anything that's in the news or media. I know that we have weight loss here. There's anything that you can piggyback on. Right, Miguel says, right now I have a client that is using Shannon's media advice and is not only opening the doors to creating press releases, also allowed her to start writing her book. She got beyond the fear of starting content organizing. Great job, Shannon. Oh, yay. I love hearing that. Yeah, it's what's so interesting is that when you start looking at this type of accelerating your business concept of bringing in all of these elements of language and collaboration and mentors and masterminds, that we are able to really step into places that we may not know is possible. And with media and marketing and publicity, I was really, I tell myself, so please excuse me if you get anything that I've written, sometimes I'm not the best writer. I have to have people proofread things. Sometimes I don't have time to proofread things. But that, it's so funny for somebody who deals with media and writes press releases. This is the tape that I was playing. So I worked with somebody like Melissa to also clear that, but I realized that I had to create a system to where writing was not a barrier, and to where language, like you could use the internet to go and research a stat. You could use a mentor or somebody else to create that bold tagline, that bold statement to come out with. And so really creating that tagline is essential. And again, on my website, I've got a few things about creating taglines too, because I think that they're key. They're key. I mean, Nike's got it. Just do it. So that's great. Now, any other questions? I love brainstorming, masterminding. Not that we're all collectively doing this. Gail's helping, and Tony, you guys can all help if anybody has anything. Anybody else want to share? We can join the chat room that way. So one more thing I wanted to share that I find is the most important thing with free publicity, growing your business, attracting mentors, any of this stuff is your power bio. Who are you? What are you doing? Why should people listen to you? I love working with clients that are in transition or young adults that have never started a business, because believe it or not, out of the hundreds if not thousands of people I've worked with on developing their bios, that every single one of them, there is a way to help them shine, whether it be piggybacking on somebody else's success that they're working with, or there's just, and I'll just share with you, like I had a young man who was starting to grow very successful in an online marketing business, but he was at the beginning. I mean, he was like in his first 6 months. He was learning. He was working with some of the top internet marketers in the world, people that were making 6-7 figures in a day, some of them. But he didn't have the self-esteem, didn't have the bio, but yet he was still getting the success, and he was a committed learner and growing and really on track for massive success. So with his bio, one of the things that we did was I take people through a 12-step power bio process, which is again on my website for free, 12-step power bio process. And in that process, I have them literally answer these 4 questions and write down every single thing that comes up. Do not judge what it is that you did in the past. Do not judge and say, well, that has nothing to do with what I'm doing now. Because what I found is that there's always a way to put it in, to tie that in. I mean, he had some things when he went to school that were really instrumental in helping him shine. But what was great is we were able to leverage that he was working with these big name celebrities and mentoring with. And so just saying those names and saying some of the associations that he was a part of, when he started going out for his business to grow it, because again, he had the systems in place. He had so much there. It was just his bio and his confidence wasn't at that level yet because he was in his 20s. But by getting that bio in place, he was able to become really magnetic and grow, grow big time. Another woman that I worked with, and it's funny because I have some crazy stories. Like I have a couple that was on one of my members' calls, and they had shared in a past life, as they called it, they were on Lifetime television, but they never had that in their current bio. And I'm like, why would you put that on your current bio? And they thought, well, it was a totally different business, but who cares? If they were on Lifetime television, you still want to put that in your bio. So sometimes people don't realize what's there. Like for the longest time, I was nominated for the Governor's Award in the state of Florida. And it's just like, to me, it was a different thing, but it's still something that to state that and share that means that I've been, shaking and moving in the state of Florida with some things. So really getting that down and sharing those. So this other individual, and I love this story because it really is near and dear to my heart. And she had her daughter who was really sick, and her daughter was having problems with Pledge and all these cleaning products that we have in our home that are toxic. And it took her a while to realize it. Once she did, she started doing research online, and she found, she started putting together a store and developed 450 health products that were safe for the home, safe for the hair, not, multi-level marketing, not saying that that's bad, but just, things that she had done her research for and did that. Well, she had 25 years in sales. And this woman was incredible, but she did not want to have anything to do with sales. She didn't like the word. She said, I don't want to have it. She didn't want to put it in her bio because I kept saying, well, let's see what gems we can find from your past. Well, what we did with hers was we stated her 25 years of prior sales experience helped her cut through the hype of marketing and really get to what the meat is of all these products, and really avoid getting oversold on things that weren't good for you. So she actually used that sales background to add credibility to what it is that she did. So creating that power bio and getting clear. And this, I have to tell you, is one of the hardest things for people to do. It is so difficult to write about ourselves. It's so difficult to talk about ourselves. So this is one of the areas where sometimes we need mentors, or sometimes we need help, but it is the absolute most important thing, is having that power bio. I use that bio in my proposals. I use that bio with anything that I'm doing when I want somebody to pay attention and know that I have experience in this. So if you have not worked on your power bio, updated your power bio, that would be my homework from this, is go and download that 12-step power bio and really dive in and work with that, because it is essential. And it's funny, I've also had people that I've worked with where they have a great bio, but doesn't have that sizzle, doesn't have that pay attention. So that's where it's kind of fun to go in and look at stats of what you've accomplished. And again, these 12 steps will go through and kind of ask you some of these questions to go along with it. And the other thing is, in my book, the Media Magic book, and I know a bunch of you have that's on here already, I talk about power words. I think it's in chapter 3 when we talk about the bio, but I have 100 of the most powerful words or influential words in the human language in my book that I give you. And so I tell people, when you're going through that power bio, look at those words and see what's there. It always helps trigger things to put down with those power words, things like created, globalized, initiated. I mean, it's really neat, and you can use this in all aspects of your business. So I think I'm at the top of the hour. Oh my gosh, I rambled for a whole hour. Yay! Hopefully it was helpful. Any closing remarks? Any closing questions? I'm getting ready to open up my 3-month training course. the end of this month. I only work with 10 people at a time, but we develop your power bio, we develop your pitch, we develop your press releases, and in the third month, you're actually getting in the press. I open up my press contacts. We all collaborate. What's so awesome about the group is that we all collaborate and we all share. I set up a community where we all share our media contacts, and it's just awesome. So hopefully, if you are in the position to come Thursday night and Friday, I strongly encourage you to come. This is a life-changing event. It's something where you have access to rub elbows with some real shakers and movers in the world. And what's so beautiful is they're all here to serve, all here to give. Friday all day from 10:30 to 5:30 is open to the public, so there's no charge for that. Now you don't get to do the mentor strategic planning and stuff like that, but you still get to hear, I'm going to be talking about how to get free press. You still get to connect and plug into the community. So with that, if there's not any more questions, I think, yay! So join me, shannonburnett.com or businessaccelerationsummit.com. We've got some great stuff, and Gail is a rock star at the Wisdom Society, or gaildehassler.com, and Ernest Chu and lots of people. So we're going to be doing Google Hangouts here and there. I'm going to be bringing on more of the mentors to share with you. So, getting clear on those goals and challenges can allow us to help you. So with that, have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for giving me your time, and see you soon. Bye for now.